What's happening, everybody? Alan here. Today we're talking about house hacking, how to live for free by investing in multifamily properties. That could be 2 units, 4 units. It could be a house with a guest house. It could be a house with some land and some yurts on it. I've seen that, or a tiny home community or whatever. There's lots of scenarios, but basically how to live for free, nothing out of your pocket towards the mortgage by house hacking. Let's dive into it. All right, so what we're going to cover today is no joke. House hacking is something I've done over and over. It's something you can do. It's where you're going to have no out-of-pocket mortgage. On the mortgage, you can actually qualify for a larger mortgage than you normally could, let's say on a single-family home, because the lender will include the rental income on the property as part of your income to qualify for the mortgage. So you can qualify for an even greater mortgage, a greater purchase price, by doing this. And that rental income could cover, and that's what we're going to talk about today, all of what we call your PITI, your principal on the mortgage, that's your loan being paid down, your interest on the mortgage, and your taxes, your property taxes, and your insurance. Your PITI could be completely covered by the rental income coming in. And I'm going to cover specific examples. I'm going to cover an example that we did. I'm going to give you the details of the deal, no fluff. We're going to go right into it, look at the numbers, and I'm going to show you how you can do this. The greatest advantage in doing this on a residential loan is to buy a fourplex. You could buy a 2-unit, you could buy a 3-unit, but a 4-unit, you're going to get unique advantages than you will on the others. First of all, you're going to get more cash flow on a 4-unit, typically than you would on a 2 or 3-unit. You're going to still qualify for residential financing. Residential financing, which has a lower rate than commercial, is on anything 4 units and below. So anything below 5 units. Once you hit 5 units, you go into a commercial lending category. So in a residential deal, you'll get that more favorable interest rate. You can even qualify for FHA financing. I've seen people get into a 4-unit before with as little as 3 to 5% down because you're owner occupying that property, and you might qualify for FHA financing on that. The other thing about a fourplex is that you can use economy of scale. So for example, if you are, this is what we did on ours, if you're increasing rents, you're improving the property, even if you increase rent, let's say $100 on the other 3 units that you don't live in, well, that's an additional $300 a month to cover payments or possibly cash flow. The other thing is this is training. This was training for me as you may move in to the future into larger apartment buildings. This is training for multifamily. You're talking about economy of scale. If you have 100 units someday and you're increasing the rents and you're doing the things that you've done here early on in the game and you're increasing those rents, let's say you have 100 units, you're increasing those rents $100 a month, well, that's $10,000 a month on a 100-unit property. That can make a big difference, and this is training for that. So let's dive into the specific example, the exact property that I purchased, and run the numbers. As we look at the numbers on this specific property that I purchased, I'm gonna grab my mortgage calculator. I'm gonna look at the numbers through the mortgage calculator so that we can basically have exact numbers. So on the mortgage calculator here, we purchased this property for $750,000. This was a 4-unit in Los Angeles. This was many years ago, but I'm gonna give you the exact numbers so that you can see what we did. And the numbers are going to vary, of course, wherever you are in the country or in the world. Your numbers are going to be different, whether the purchase price is higher and the rents will be even higher than ours, or the purchase price is lower and the rents will be lower. But what we purchased for was $750,000. I've got that plugged in here on the home price, $750,000. And then our down payment, we did an owner-occupied loan, and we got it at 10% down. So that was $75,000. We were able to pull that out of another property on an equity loan. But again, remember, if you're going in with FHA financing, you may be able to get in at 5% down or even 3.5% down or something like that. Our interest rate is 4%, long term 30 years. The property tax, just about 1% a year for us. The annual home insurance, $1,200 a month. Okay, so that comes to, as you look up at the top here, a total monthly payment of $3,947. Now, as we run our numbers on rents, we were able to improve those units, clean them up, paint them. There was original wood floors that we cleaned up the bathrooms and kitchens, made it look really good, and increased the rents to $1,350 a unit. Now there's 3 units, so 3 units renting at $1,350 rent out for a total of $4,050 a month. Now remember, our mortgage, property tax, insurance, and principal pay down, all of that came to $3,914 a month. So the difference there is $136 a month in profit. So we're living in a unit in this fourplex for essentially free and getting paid $136 a month. Now I know some of you out there, you might be a real estate ninja, and this is like, I've really simplified the numbers here, and I get that, and you're on there, you're getting ready to make your comment, Alan, you have no idea what you're doing, you don't know what you're talking about, these numbers are too simple, and I get that. I'm simplifying it. I'm not including maintenance or some other things that will come up. But let me show you another thing that's just the icing on the cake, is on top of the $136 a month profit, if you look back here at the mortgage calculator, I'm going to hit the schedule, the mortgage schedule. This is essentially what we call an amortization schedule, and it shows you each month how much the loan is being paid down. The mortgage is being paid down every month. And who's paying that mortgage down every month? The tenants are actually paying the mortgage down every month. Sure, you're making the payment, but the income is coming in from the tenants paying rent. And each month, starting at month number 1, the principal paid down here on this mortgage schedule is $972.55. So your net worth is going up that month, $972.55. And the way the amortization calculator works is it increases as years go by, and as time goes by, the amount of principal increases each month. But just that alone, if you take the $136 profit a month and you add to that the $972.55 of principal that's being paid down on your mortgage every month by the tenants, that comes to $1,108.55. Now, we multiply that by 12 to get an annual number. And annually, that means you're making a return of $13,302.60. Now, that's not all in your pocket. Remember, that's mortgage being paid down. But that is a return that you can realize someday when you sell this property. And if you take that return on my investment specifically, and you take the $13,302.60 and you divide it by the $75,000 that I put into the property, what is my return on investment? My return on investment is 17.7% ROI on my money. And on top of that, I'm living in an apartment in this building for free. The tax benefits I'm not even including here, and I got major tax benefits out of this property. And again, talk to your CPA, your veterinarian, your dentist, whoever you need to talk to. I'm not a CPA, but I deducted part of the mortgage interest, part of the property tax, part of my expenses on this property, 3/4 of it as a investment property and 1/4 as my primary residence. And there's all kinds of tax benefits that can come with that in terms of when I sell. And I could get into that in other videos, but basically I could do a 1031 exchange with the 3/4 portion. I can have tax benefits of the primary portion, the 1/4 that I own. There's all kinds of tax-free benefits when I sell if I've lived there for more than 2 years. There's just a lot of opportunities here for tax savings on my income on the property and on my capital gains when I go to sell. So some tips that I want to give you in terms of buying these properties. You want to buy typically, like when we bought, with the units that need work. So if it needs paint, paint is easy. For floors, ours had original wood floors. We wanted to keep those because they're real durable, kind of polish them. Some of it might have needed sanding, sand and polish. But flooring is relatively easy and quick. Painting is extremely quick. Kitchens and bathrooms are huge. You really want to pay attention to the kitchen and bathrooms. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, especially the kitchen, the bathroom as well. You put money into that, it's going to increase your rent, it's going to increase your value on your property, and it's going to increase your cash flow. So on these repairs, you can see some of the pictures of properties that I've done. These are the befores, and I'll throw in some afters as well if I can here. But basically, these are properties where we improved as much as we could the kitchen or the bathroom or the flooring or the paint, did things that were quick. You can turn the unit fairly quick and get it ready to rent. Now, let's talk about some of the downside. Some of the downside here is that some people say, well, I don't want to have to lose some privacy. But if you think about it, this can actually be more private depending on your situation, depending on where you live. So for example, right now you're living in an apartment building or you have roommates and everyone's living on top of each other. This could actually be more private to have your own unit, or it could be like an owner's unit where it's up above the garage, or it's separate from the other units, or the other units are above the garage, or whatever the scenario is. So there could be a privacy loss, or actually it could be more private than your current situation. The other potential downside is some people just don't like managing or dealing with tenants. And this is a reality. I enjoyed it because it was a learning curve. It was a learning opportunity. And it's an opportunity for you to grow. But you could also use a management company. Someday you could be moving out of that unit and renting that unit out and then turn it over to a management company. And that property is a cash flow property for you. And at that point, the principal is going to be paid down over $1,000 every month. And on top of that, you'll have the income coming in off the property because now you've rented out your unit, and that unit will be solid cash flow income. Because remember, the other 3 units were already covering your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And so it's a great opportunity for you to continue to trade up, increase your income, and build your portfolio. So that's house hacking. I've done it many times. You can do it with a guest house. You can do it with a multi-unit. I've seen someone do it where they had literally a house and some land, and they built yurts on the land, or they build tent camping experiences and advertise it through sites like Hip Camp or other sites, and you can create rental income even just off of land. I've seen people who have rented out different parts of their land for storage of RVs, or they built tiny homes or container properties where people use a shipping container for an office or an art studio and all kinds of stuff. You can get creative with this, and this is house hacking, and this is a way you can live mortgage free, nothing out of your pocket, someone else paying down the mortgage for you. Don't forget, below you can enroll in the real estate investment training class. It's an online module, and I'm going to walk you through the details of how to do these deals, how you can do these deals, and go through the numbers so that you're equipped to do transactions like this, make a profit, make greater cash flow, and enrich your net worth through real estate. Check it out. I'll put it in the details down below. If this has been valuable, please hit that like button. It lets us know that you've found value in this. Also, give us a comment. If there's a topic you want me to cover, or there's something here you want me to dig in deeper, give us a comment. Let me know what you think and where you want us to go with the topics that we cover. Subscribe to our channel and you will get updates each time we post a new one. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Boom.
I have outrun it, I have survived. It's more than just breathing and staying alive. All that I feel is a fire inside.